Oh, James just texted me right now.
What do you
He
say?
said he just finished getting off Zach's podcast.
Whoa.
So anybody listening right now, check out Zach's podcast with James. So maybe he'll join this one. We'll see.
I hope so.
Yeah, dude. So would you want to make this a Plan Your Escape podcast or a Grateful podcast if James is here?
No preference.
All right.
Both.
Both.
Dual. Just a.
Yeah, dude. I'm gonna put it on my playlist either way. Did you see those? Wait, how are you doing? First off.
I'm doing good. Today was a very slow work day, and then right when you're about to hit that 8 hours, they're like, do the things. So
Oh,
it's kind of fun at the end.
yeah,
It's
dude.
been kind of boring.
Well, good job. He made it.
Boring in a good way. I don't know.
Boring in a good way.
But I was happy to be busy. Is all what I'm trying to say.
Oh
Couldn't
yeah,
find the
dude.
words.
I'm grateful that.
And then on my lunch
Yeah.
break,
What
I
happened?
did some demo writing. It was fun. I wrote some guitar stuff and drum stuff, and that was fun.
Heck yeah. That's beautiful.
And then I went on a bike ride with my dad in the rain,
How was
and
that?
it was cool. It was really messy, but I knew it
I'll
would
send
be
you.
messy.
Hey guys,
Hi.
how are you?
Good.
Hello.
Good. Sorry, I didn't look at the messages. I just did. Kelsey and I just did Zach's podcast. Just
Yeah.
and so we just got that. I'm like, oh my god, I gotta get onto this one.
That's so good.
Yeah.
Well, we just talked about who I am, which is now exclusive information. You have to go back and watch it later.
Damn.
Omar, how are you doing?
Pretty awesome. Just a lot of growth and like hustling, dude. Just like editing videos and filming them, and it's cool. I went on an adventure today, dude. I actually drove for the first time in probably like 10 days.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, dude.
How was that?
It was really pleasant. I'm really grateful to have gone out of the house today and just like enjoy the rain, and it felt good to like break the pattern. But yeah, I went to go pick up some hard drives to like work from home. And then
Cool.
while I was there, like I was waiting for some stuff to transfer, and I picked up this really cool book. It was called Integrating Your Shadow or something like that.
That sounds really interesting. Integrating your shadow?
Yeah, dude. Like everything that pisses you off about other people is like some projection of yourself. So it's important to like recognize what those things are and like just bring awareness to it. And it's pretty interesting. It's like Jungian psychology is a big part of it, and then like some Hawaiian like Hawaiian culture is like brought into it too. But anyways, yeah, that was my afternoon, and I picked up some cool stickers. Let me grab them real quick.
Oh, cool.
It's definitely an aspect of projecting your own stuff on other people and blaming them.
Absolutely. I think that's like
across the general humanness, not just anybody or me in particular.
Right. Those are so cool.
You see it, Clifford?
Whoa.
Yeah.
I dig.
What were you guys talking about?
I was just commenting on the idea of people projecting issues on others and getting mad at other people, but sometimes it's within their own self.
Yeah, dude.
I've caught myself doing that, so.
Yeah, I can definitely say that for me. That's definitely that's usually always the case. It's always like something internally where that I'm projecting and I'm realizing, oh, it's just some insecurity I have about myself.
Yeah, dude, it's super powerful. And then the next step is to like integrate that within yourself. Like the reason that shows up is to create a counterbalance for whatever like beliefs that you have, like whatever programs are there already. So it's basically like it's supposed to let you know that some things are too rigid within yourself, and that shadow outside like allows it doesn't care like whether you accept it or not. It's just going to happen. And but just like bringing awareness to it is what enlightens it.
Dude, I agree. That's Couldn't agree more.
Have you guys? Wait, how was your day, James?
It was good. I just worked from home, and then immediately after, Kelsey and I did Zach's podcast, and it was really good. It was a good, very good talk. It was nice seeing Zach as well. So we had a nice, great chat, and apparently I think that's going to come out tomorrow.
Heck yeah, dude! I'm stoked for that.
Yeah, I can't wait. We just talked a lot about, we talked about you guys a bit, of course.
Omar and Clifford.
Yes, and then we we just chat about music and just random stuff and life.
Yeah.
It's gonna be great.
Oh, you dropped us.
I just caught it, but no, it was cool. So that's basically been our day. It's just work and just chat with Zach, and now we're just it's just sort of hanging now.
That sounds
It's
lovely.
a nice day. It's like, I mean, is it raining where you guys are at right now? Because it's been pouring all day here.
Yeah, it's raining where I'm at.
Damn.
It is raining.
It's raining money in my mind.
There we go. That's I want it to be. How are you making that happen? I need to figure this out.
You gotta reprogram yourself. Change the wiring.
Ooh, I like it. Okay, I'll change the wiring.
Yeah, dude. I want Kelsey on my podcast now.
Yeah, Kelsey can join right now if you want. Kelsey can join the podcast.
Wait, do you want to make this a Grateful podcast or a Pioneer Escape podcast?
I thought it was going to be a Pioneer Escape, but I mean, I'm cool with whatever.
Okay,
is
cool.
Joey joining? Or I know Josh said he's sick.
No, Joey's not.
Okay, yeah, I didn't catch up on the group chat.
Oh, okay, never mind. Yeah, let's make it a Pioneer Escape podcast then.
Okay, cool.
I'm all for doing dual posting, but
dual posting.
Do whichever you want.
I'm cool with whatever's.
You imagine if somebody, this would never happen. Imagine somebody watching it as Point Escape and then they watch it as Omar the Grateful and they're like 40 minutes in and then they're like, wait a second.
Wow.
They're like, hold on a second. Isn't this?
Wait, that's familiar.
Mind is blown, dude.
All right, thought just sent me down the trail of when we announced to the crowd that we were two brothers, and I just love thinking about that day.
I forgot about that.
When did that happen?
Wasn't it during our fake beef, right?
No, it was way before. It was like early
before the fake beef. Damn.
Yeah, no, it was like years before. It was at the lot, and we called ourselves Two Brothers.
Oh yeah.
Was it when it was just us, me, you, and Josh playing?
Yeah.
Oh god, that was actually.
Sorry for my. This memory is like top tier, like one of my favorite things that's ever happened. Because somebody like for real thought we were two brothers, and then they got really confused when Two Brothers played at a show they went to later, and that's just like. I feel like I've told it before, but if I haven't,
that's totally in our style too, to like not follow up and say, "Oh, we're Pioneer Escape." We just stuck with "We're Two Brothers."
We never clarified, and somebody thought we were two brothers.
That's so us. It's not even funny.
I love those. Those were fun. The little random shows with half the
I'm like looking at because there's very specific pictures of that show. Because I think I played bass, and then and I played bass for some of it, and then there was some songs where I just like it was just guitar and drums. That was a good time.
Made it work.
Made it work, baby. Where is it?
You wanna? I wrote down some prompts that James inspired.
Oh yeah.
Prompt me, baby.
Okay. What is some advice that we can give to young musicians?
I
think a good one is to practice with a metronome.
Yeah, it's a good. I mean, practice with the metronome. That's actually a great advice. Another thing is just learn as much as you can. It never hurts to learn just to learn new types of ways to play. different different techniques, because they're all going to benefit you in the end. I think you'll use it at some point as a musician.
I think my big things are, you said young musicians, so I imagine like high school, maybe before that, but let's just say high school, like join jazz band and do that. That's like
jazz band or orchestra. That's some good stuff.
Whatever floats your musical boat. But like if you're a guitar player, a bass player, or a drummer, that's just because that's our background, right? So that's why I'm saying jazz band, because that's the class you can take in high school, and 5 days a week for an hour you're playing music with other people. Like that is so valuable, and it's right there. It just takes you opting into a zero period. I basically did that for 4 years, and I was zombie mode in the morning, but I was playing music with other people, and people graduate, new people come in. That's valuable experience itself. And you're held accountable by the teacher. You're graded, you're judged, and you need someone to critique you. You need someone to tell you when you're not doing a good job, or when you could do better, or when you have untapped potential. And that's my first go-to, because that's a part of high school. You can just do it, right? And then the next one is if you can find a way to do group lessons or private lessons.
We had the same guitar teacher for a minute.
Yeah, if you're tasked to do something over a week and you don't do good, you need someone to be like, you didn't do this. This isn't good enough. You need that, or else I feel like there's a risk of getting into a band and you haven't had that feedback, and then you're just kind of oblivious to what's not perfect, or not perfect, but you know what I mean, what the possibility is. So
I think that's such a good advice, Clifford. I think you touched on touching on that and snowballing off of it, is that it's good. It's, as a young musician, take advice, especially from people who've had experience. You don't sometimes you want to be like, they don't know, but take advice from more experienced musicians is super important. And also for young musicians who are maybe now in their first bands, this is something I think is really, really important, is to be a nice person. Be nice to all the bands around you. Be nice to all the musicians. Be respectful, because just being a nice person and being respectful to other musicians and artists will actually get you a long way in the end, because those are things that some people may not generally really even think about. But if you're just a nice person and respectful, I mean, a lot of people will want to add you to their show because you guys were really nice guys. You're a good, nice band, and very cool and respectful. I mean, so many times I've seen a lot of artists who are not those things, and people don't want to play with them. So be nice, be a good person.
I thought of another one. Find a way to record yourself and listen back, even if it's just individually, to a metronome, to Omar's point, or with the whole band. And if it's an awful recording, you'll still be able to tell, or you should practice listening for what's not matching up. But practicing recording, and then if you can find a home studio that doesn't charge too much, there's usually someone trying to get their foot in the door and just kind of being humble about it, how this is their first time and you just want to you help through it. You will learn so much about your playing and your everything if you go record with someone who's in a producer role. Same thing as the private lessons. You need someone that's holding you accountable for doing a good job. If your gear is doing this and it shouldn't be doing that, or if you're performing a certain way and it's making fret buzz or string noise that you didn't know you were doing. One song recording in the studio could help you learn some of that stuff. So it's a valuable experience, even if it's not the best demo. You shouldn't be going and paying thousands of dollars to record a song. It's just, there's always an opportunity. We found opportunities, low cost recordings, and you just learn so much. with somebody with better gear and, headphones and hearing through studio monitors or something, like what you sound like. But it's cheaper now to record yourself, and you could probably do it on your own too. But yeah, you can find out a lot about your technique with recording. So.
Yeah, it's definitely, I would suggest, and yeah, that's, I could not agree more. I definitely suggest trying to record, with someone first, just so if you have no knowledge on how the process works, as you said, Clifford, it's like invaluable to have that experience. And then, as you said, nowadays, a lot of kids are doing it themselves, but I would try to get yourself the experience of just at least doing it a couple of times with someone who knows what they're doing, or at least has some knowledge. And then, you'll be able to really learn a lot once you start doing it yourself.
If you're with 4 or 5 dudes and you can raise $500-$600, like, sure, you can find someone who's like just starting out their studio that, will be willing to do a song. I don't even know. Maybe that's too much. I don't know. I'm just saying, like, it doesn't have. Don't think of recording in the studio as like thousands of dollars. It's not. It just doesn't have to be that. It could be just tracking. Maybe you don't want to mix and master it. I don't know. But.
Yeah. No, so true. It can be affordable and a good learning experience. As you said, I think that's a lot of young musicians have no idea what it's like to hear themselves back. And as you said, Clifford, I think that's like super valuable, and you just learn so much, and and then you learn a lot as a musician.
Yeah, you want to know how you sound, and you want to know how to listen for others too. So that's where recording yourself and having someone to give you feedback is for like the individual thing, and then playing with others. Ideally in jazz band, you have someone literally that's just there listening to the band the whole time. That's like ideal situation. Like, how are you jiving with everybody, right? But
right.
Just in general, playing with other people. That's pretty much all I could think of. Gear, there's probably some gear tips and stuff, but I don't know.
Yeah, I think if you're starting out, you'll get to the gear part. I think it's just more of, learn to play, technique, being a good musician, and especially if you're just starting the band, listen to everyone. Everyone has a good opinion, and learning to, probably the biggest one is willing to be able to give and take. I'm just blanking on the right word. Starts with a C.
Clifford. Anti-Clifford. Don't do Clifford.
Don't
do early days Clifford. Do the opposite.
No, like being able to, sometimes you have to give and take. Some stuff, somebody really wants this, and then, let them have that, and then you really want this. Just be able to, share the process with everyone. And I think a lot of times it's hard for people, especially when you're young, because you have something in your head that you're like, it's got to be like this. But remember, everyone else has great ideas that your ear does not hear, and it's really important to let everyone have their input. And usually, almost every time that, like in my experience, it's always better when you have the other person's input. It's always better because your ear doesn't hear things they're hearing.
Totally.
So,
it's also like
keeping
in mind, like you're young and you're in a new band, and like y'all are still figuring out what you want to do, and clashing over like direction and stuff doesn't have to be like some drama thing. It's just literally like you're still figuring out your way where you want to end up, and maybe you're a bunch of friends that want to be in a band together, but maybe like you guys want to you'll eventually end up doing different genres. Like, it doesn't have to be too crazy. It's just, we're all on our own path, but we're all together too, I don't know.
Yeah.
Just be mindful of, what other people want to do. And I think our band has been a culmination of different desired paths coming together. And we've had some of my favorite things that we've done have been because of the different desires coming together.
I couldn't agree more.
I think another big part of it is not taking everything personal, and then like letting go of ego.
So
like
real.
I've mentioned this example a couple times. It was like when I was going in to record the verse for Trouve Moi, and I had like one verse that I created with Seth, and it was like what like I felt belonged on like something that I would make. and then there was the other one that like fit into the track. That one sat differently than this one, and it was like, okay, like I understand that this one is just like my ideal, but then like this one is like greater for the group. So it was just a really like I see the lesson in that. It's like I'm with all, like how like James said, like listening to the other musicians. It's like there's some like, because that's when the magic happens, when like when the creative process is shared the way they, I think that's what you said, is sharing the creative process.
Mm.
So yeah, dude, I think that's super important, not taking anything personal. It's like, it's not that you suck or that I suck. It's just that this one is like, everyone wants like the best for this project.
Right.
Yeah.
It's
So
also like
that's
serving the song. That's more of a songwriting
serving the
tip for you.
song.
Yeah, as like
Yeah.
a young songwriter, it's just like, you know, some things that you might think are good for the song may not, like whatever fits best for the song. It may be something super simple that's not, you know, that's not as cool as what you have written, but maybe that's what actually fits the song. Then maybe it's opposite, but you know, serve the song and you know, and let everyone have their inputs.
Yeah, especially if you're like a leading force in like the writing process, you got to know when to take yourself out of it as a focus for what's better for the song. You know, like I could probably riff over every song we've done, but there's songs where I just sit back and chill. And that's, you know, those are conscious decisions of what is the vibe of the song, and when is it time to step up, and when is it time to just let other things, you know, like if I write the basic part for the drums and the bass and the guitar, right? You have to kind of have this mentality, like I'm gonna be playing guitar at the show, but I'm gonna write this song so that the drums talk more or that the bass talks more. You know, like this is the song where I'm on the back seat and it's more of a drums and vocals. You know, so it's just, you know, try to like keep yourself a little bit to a lesser extent than what's good for the song.
Yeah, absolutely.
I want to, so what you're talking about taking zero period jazz, it's like, it just makes so much sense why you're such a shredder, because it's like not only all the reasons that you pointed out, but when you're in that sleepy state, in that zombie mode, that's like the best time to program your brain. Yeah, like
Yeah.
you're super impressionable because you're
That's
still
true.
like you're getting out of that dream state, and that's when like that's like that sets the tone for your day and like your life, really. Like whatever you expose yourself early on in that part of the day is what just gets kind of grained a little deeper.
Yeah, dude. I wasn't even like playing, you know, it's all just like, I guess, comping with the drums and the bass of like, you're kind of like another piano in jazz. You know, piano's doing a certain thing and you're like a more basic version of a piano. Usually that's like the primary role. You're just kind of blending things. But it's like, it's such good practice. And then like you're listening to like trombones and saxophones all day do these like really catchy melodies, and like you may not be playing them, but you are learning like rhythmic melodies all day for 4 years. And like, you know, like this beat's going like this way, but there's like this, you know, like the certain patterns and stuff. I still like some of the little riffs I do are very much inspired by just simple jazz saxophone licks, you know.
So true though. Like
It's so
it's
good.
just I
Jazz
I
like,
suggest everyone to like do jazz band.
yeah.
You want to be as good as Clifford, jazz band.
It's yeah, it's weird. It's like on one hand, I don't know if I did learn a bunch of chords, but it's weird. It's mostly just subconsciously learning to play in harmony with others for a long period of time. That practice is needed for sure.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah.
Sometimes being a good musician is, the skill is when you don't play as opposed to when you do.
Mm-hmm.
I also wanted to say I don't really know theory that well. Don't think that you need to know theory to play jazz band.
Yeah.
Go in there and give it your best shot. You'll get the chords on a chart. You will figure out whether it's in your own time or in the class, like how to play those chords, and then you will play them. Like, don't worry about read. You will also learn how to read music notes and timing and stuff. I didn't really know that until I played jazz band. So just don't think of it as like a huge barrier to entry. Definitely should try to learn basic guitar before you go play with 15 other people. But I'm just trying to say, like, you don't need to be like a top tier.
Yeah. You don't need to be a music, graduate. You don't need to be a bachelor in music graduate to play jazz band. It's because you're right. I think.
Yeah, I was playing Green Day and like Linkin Park stuff, and then I played jazz band.
Yeah.
So, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No. I was just confirming that you don't need to, like, I feel like that would scare a lot of people away from doing jazz band is like, oh, well, I don't know, theory. I don't know what blah, blah, blah. It's like, I feel like it's like you learn that. And I think that's the point of jazz band, especially in high school, is that the point of it is to teach you that. So, like, the structure.
Totally. It's not college jazz band. It's high school jazz band,
Mm-hmm. Correct.
Did you do college jazz band?
No. I got to college and I quit swimming. I didn't do jazz anymore. It was a crazy transitional period, but you know what I did do? I joined planer skate.
Wow.
Right.
Like, I'm gonna take the 20 hours I would be doing swimming, and I'm gonna go create music, and that worked out. I'm happy about it.
It's beautiful.
Yeah. What's another topic you got? What's another prompt?
Yeah, dude. You guys can pick the next one. I'll tell you So we got scary dreams, how to mosh, and cherish childhood memories.
Ooh, they're all really good. How to mosh sounds like really fun. I feel like that's like, so that's there's an etiquette, but it's also subjective.
I have nothing to contribute.
I think the etiquette for moshing is if someone falls, you pick him up. That's like number one from just regular push pit moshing. If you get hit in the face, don't start a fight because everyone there is punches.
Where people were throwing their arms.
Yeah, I was gonna say if you're gonna get upset with someone, and if you get punched in a pit, you should not be in a pit. Like, if you can't control that, don't be in a pit, because you're guaranteed. I go into a pit anytime I do, knowing I'm gonna get punched because that's the nature of it. It's no one's rhyme or reason.
That's why you go in.
It's why you go in. So that's my thing, is like, don't start fights in the pit, because usually it always ruins the vibe, and then also distracts the band on stage if it's a big enough fight. Like, they may have to stop playing. Like, that sucks, So don't distract the show. Be a part of the experience, and yeah, and then also I don't know.
Protect your head.
I'm more of a crowd surfer guy too. I mean, I like push mosh, but I love crowd surfing. So
yeah, how do you crowd surf? How does one go about surfing a crowd?
Well, if you're going to do it from the crowd, you tap the people's shoulders in front of you. And if they are cool with lifting you up, then take their help and do it. If they're not about it, go to someone else. Don't pressure someone to lift you up. Because usually if you're in a type of crowd where there is that amount of crowd surfing, someone is going to help you lift you up. But make sure you tap on them and ask them. And it's just a simple of, that's all you need to do. Tap, tap, up. That's usually all it takes.
Yo, common sense note, but don't just jump. Every time I've crowd surfed and not died, I went onto people. Don't just jump as far as, I don't know, do you or do whatever you want to do, but I've seen small shows where it's not packed, so there's not hundreds of people pushing the crowd to the barrier. So when there's not that, there's going to be little holes even close to the stage within jumping distance. Like, do not put yourself in a position where you're going to break your neck and be paralyzed. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
I used to be a lifeguard. Just don't dive head first. I don't know. Just, I don't know.
I agree.
Be like,
Don't dive head first.
I agree. And also, yeah, and if you're and on that on that same note, if you're jumping from the stage, make sure you're jumping into a part of the crowd where you know there's a lot of people who are energetic who can catch you. Don't jump into a bunch of girls if they're, because chances are they probably are not gonna catch you unless you know that they're like ready to do it, you know. And then I would say, like, make sure you're jumping into part of the crowd where they can see you jumping into them. Because I've seen so many stage dives gone wrong where someone just jumps into a crowd where no one's looking, and they just, like, either they'll fall on someone and both that person and the crowd surfer fall to the ground because no one's looking at you. Make sure someone's at least like a few people are looking at you, running
I'm
to
thinking
jump.
of the hardcore ones where it's like feet first.
Oh, yeah. I
Those
do
are
those too,
really,
but it's like,
know
yeah.
where
I mean,
you're at,
hardcore
know
shows,
what show you're going to, know the culture. Be
Yes.
respectful of the culture. Don't just go in there and declare that it bend around how you see concerts. If you go to a show and people are crowd killing and moshing and jumping feet first into the crowd, you are still deciding to be there, and that is on you. So don't go. I just don't like seeing when people go into a cult. Like, in my opinion, it is a musical culture, and they start trying to dictate what's okay. It's not their call. That's the culture of that scene. So just know where you're at and be safe and logical to whatever you want to do, and don't blame others if you get hurt.
I agree. I think that's a really huge. It's like people like the hardcore culture in like the etiquette for the mosh and crowd surfing is completely different than a normal maybe like punk rock show. Like it's obvious. Like if you've been to one of those shows, there's a different type of thing you do in the crowd, and as you said, just you gotta respect it. And you can't go in there being like, that's not, they punched me, it's not right, or like, they're, it's like, that's, as you said, it's not your, if you're not involved in that music culture, it's not really your say. You're, as you said, Cliff, you're choosing to be there. So if you don't like it, then you stay on the side, because there's so many people who stay on the side and enjoy the show without even being a part of, like, being like in the moshing part of it. You can enjoy and be a part of the show just hanging out on the side and jamming out to the music,
Yeah,
you
there's not going to be any musical culture historians that go back and cite you as the leader of this shift towards not crowd surfing and moshing at hardcore shows. It's not going to happen. You are not some disciple that came to change the hardcore scene. Just know where you're at and be safe. That's it. And take ownership over your decision.
Yo, you guys, real quick, we have 8 minutes on this meeting, unless I upgrade this Zoom.
I have to like eat dinner, but do you want to plow through one more subject real quick?
Yeah, let's get through another.
I want to mention one more thing about like crowd surfing or like safety. So like a good example of how to like protect yourself is like, let's say like we're all at a concert, right? And I'm trying to crowd surf. So I'll go to James and Clifford and be like, hey, I'm going to jump off the stage. Can you catch me? And then they'll be like, oh yeah, okay. So then James and Clifford will like probably position themselves, and then they'll already have an eye on me. So that's like one way, instead of just like kind of expecting that to happen. It's more like, no, I know it's going to happen because I asked them. And then like, yeah.
It's such a cool way to make like a local show just so much better. Just coordinating little things like that, but it means a lot to people,
It really,
when people have crowd surfed at our shows, and like I could tell when, dude, can we just talk about like stay for the bands?
Yeah.
The touring band that comes through, like all your friends from wherever come and then they leave, at the very least, I can't tell you how, like, some of the best concerts I've been in was just literally like us, the band, staying for the last band when most people left. And we
it's
just
so true.
made it popping off, dude. We were crowd surfing for them. We were moshing for them. That stuff goes a long way to building connections. But it's also just the right thing to do. But that just, what you were saying, Omar, made me think of that, where it's like, hey, I'm going to go crowd surf. Even if there's 10 people in the crowd, you can pull it off. You just got to be safe.
You're so right. If you coordinate, you can pull it off. And also, like, when people see you do that and they see the energy, like for even a small show like that, man, it like people will get into it. Like people, I can't tell how many times like someone saw like us do exactly that situation that you just described, Omar, and people got so psyched off of it that more people came to the front and joined in. And
Yeah,
that's
they
usually
see
how
what's possible.
it's almost you have to encourage people to do it, because people just get a little shy, because that and then if you encourage people and they see the energy, people are usually down to join. So yeah, I think Clifford, you're right. Like, it's such a cool thing to do for bands, small local shows too, and then for the headliner too. Like, it's oddly, it's a networking opportunity, which you never think it is, but sometimes ends up being that way.
Yeah, dude, be the change you wish to see in the crowd.
Absolutely. So true. That's such a good line. Be the change you want to be in the crowd.
Yeah.
Clifford Jeffrey, 2020.
Michael Scott, Wayne Gretzky, Clifford Jeffrey.
Michael Scott. I love that. It was good.
You guys want to keep talking? You want to do a different topic? We have scary dreams and cherished childhood memories. And 5 minutes.
5 minutes.
No, 5 minutes. Scary dreams, cherished childhood memories. I'm trying to think.
It's like a game show.
5
minutes, cherished childhood memories.
I'm trying to think of scary dreams.
I got a scary dream.
Go for it.
So I was in my kitchen getting some water, and there's a lady behind me, and she's floating off the ground. It looks like she was drowned, like her skin was like green and blue, and she was wearing like a white dress, and so she's like there, and then I look at her and she just starts screaming like "Rah!" and I'm kind of like stunned for a little bit, and then I was like "Rah!" like I yelled louder. And
you're like, I'm gonna scare this ghost first.
Yeah.
So I was terrified and then like empowered.
So did you scare off the demon lady?
Yeah, like I think I woke up screaming.
Oh, that's
but like I won. You know what I mean?
Hey, I like it. I like you got attack first. That's a great one.
All right, who's next?
I had a dream. This was like over a decade ago, but I had a dream. I was at like a Christian camp that I would go to when I was young. That's where I met like Josh and other people. But point is, they had a roller coaster at that camp. And I had a dream about the roller coaster going off the tracks, like at a really high point. And then I was just falling forever, and I felt like the feeling of falling, you get when you're in like a roller coaster, but like the feeling of I'm about to die was also there. And then, I woke up like hitting the floor of my bedroom, and I was like sweating, and I was like, I've never even come close to something that involved with like a bad dream. Like, that was like crazy. I mean, I've woken up like, I don't even know, like yelling, or like you said, or I think I woke up kicking a wall once, but I don't know what that. I think that's just my legs. They just do weird shit.
The fact of you falling and then actually hitting the floor is pretty nuts.
Yeah.
I like to think that I was in a cocoon of a blanket and it slowed my fall for like a long period of time, or it was just like an Inception thing where I just literally fell in the dream last. I don't know how that worked. I don't know.
A whole dream within a
blanket thing is more likely, but what do I know? Okay, go ahead, sir.
I mean, I was when I was really young, but I used to have night terrors all the time. So I can't really remember it, but I know I would wake up and I would be like just completely like, it's more of like what my mom would tell me. Like, I'd be like in my room, sort of like screaming. But there was one time where I wasn't screaming, but I was like asleep or awake, and my eyes were just like glazed over, and I was just staring like ahead, like some like demon child. And my mom came in the room, she's like, James. And I did apparently this slow look like out of like a horror movie, just like looking at her like this. And just dead faced. And then but that's what I've heard. I used to have really bad night terrors, but nothing since then. I get sleep paralysis once in a while. But and that's a little terrifying because you're like just stuck and you can't move, but you're trying to. can't really think of like actual scary dreams because I've had them, but I forget my dreams. I need to write them down.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's probably them.
That's the Plan Your Escape podcast, everyone. Thank you for tuning in.
Thank you guys. See you next time. Bye.
I want to let the time run out. We have like a few seconds left.
Okay, cool. Check out Plan Your Escape. Love y'all. We're gonna wait for the next like however long.
I don't know if it's 3 seconds or 30 seconds. It just says less than a minute.
You just don't know. 2 minutes later, I would love to Joey just kid.
James, you're adorable.
Nigel Thornberry.
That's I love the glasses thing, Clifford.
I didn't get a kick out of it. What are we doing?
I don't know.